So I'm going to talk today about practicing, which is often seen as a chore and something that requires a lot of discipline and something that's absolutely necessary to become better. Well, this is true. We do need to practice to become improved as players, but it needn't be hard work. You see, it all comes about via syllabuses. So kids at school get taught from the national curriculum, and so it's a way of teaching the masses, and so you have that through school, college, university, and then when you're at work there's health and safety courses, in-service training and that sort of thing, and so everybody has to sort of learn the same way. I remember thinking to myself, well, I don't have to do this because I'm teaching individuals on a one-to-one basis, and so the way I learned to play was that I went my own way. I wasn't allowed any lessons as a kid. My dad just did not want me to be a musician at all, and so there was never any lessons, but it didn't stop me. And so my teachers for drums were the Rolling Stones and the Beatles back in the day, all 1960 stuff, and same a little bit later with the guitar. It was just a case of copying the likes of Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and anybody else that took my interest, and so I was going my own way and found out the best ways that I could of how to do things. So, but the topics that I picked to study, if you like, were I'd go along with something and okay, I've done a bit of that now and let's move on. And so I would choose the point where I moved on, and it just seems a natural way to grow. And I can remember as a kid watching my dad. He wanted this rose bush to grow up a wall, so he built a wire frame for it. And then as the branches started to grow, he started to tie them and made them grow where he wanted them to go. And to me, as an 8-year-old kid, that just didn't seem natural. And so I can see that you don't want to be doing that. So if you get to pick your own songs and things that you want to play or whatever, it can be more boring, tedious stuff like scales. If you want to learn it, I'll teach it to you, but you choose it, I will teach it. And so that way, when people are doing what they want to do, the maximum learning is taking place because they can they're enjoying what they do. And so I think the Rimmers sign on the wall says 5 days a week at 20 minutes. It sounds a little bit like going to the gym or something. That's something you have to put a bit of effort into it. But many of my students for a while now have been going off on their own. They're motivated. Parents are telling me, yes, he just goes off and he gets himself all set up. And so what it is, they're involved with doing stuff that they want to do. And so what I've started to do lately is build videos. So some of you know that, especially with the MP3s, we go from like 70% typically up to 100 in speed. And so I can do exactly the same thing with the videos with a difference. When you're on 70, I shall put a little text in towards the end of the video that'll say, are you ready for the challenge of the 80%? That's a bit like a computer game, ready to go up to the next level. So 80% will maybe have some reward in it that 70 didn't have, and I'm still working on this stuff. And so finally, when you get to the 100%, people seem to enjoy these animated emojis that are put in. And so they can go in on the 100%, you won't get to see those, it won't be as much fun until you get there. So that's the way I'm sort of doing it, and so what goes along with it as well is what I call accelerated learning. So if you know these techniques, so I would call this learning how to learn, what's going to happen is you're doing something that you enjoy doing, and you're going to get results, and you're not going to want to miss any practice sessions, because if you do, you'll know that you're going to get results. You know, following the accelerated learning techniques, it brings you on very, very quickly. So learning how to learn is important, and so these resources alongside myself, because it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how good your teaching resources are, you can have all the videos and stuff and all the things in it. It's never going to meet everybody's needs, and the other thing that happens is people start to all sorts of errors. You know, they have common difficulties, and so I need to see that on a weekly basis to make sure they don't get into any bad habits. But With the accelerated learning and the growing naturally way, people picking what they want to pick, it's a good way to learn, and so in the end we've got the best possible teaching and learning standards. So if you would like drum or guitar lessons with me, Ian Hughes, book your free discovery session with me by text, phone or email. There's no obligation and no harm in finding out if I'm the right teacher for you.